Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So 37-year-old New York resident Thomas Sibick shared a video while he was at the Capitol on January 6th. In the video, he recorded himself screaming, quote, "Just got tear gassed, but we're going, baby. We're going. We're pushing forward now." He also posted a selfie on Facebook, and he was seen holding a police riot shield, which apparently he found on the ground. A short time after that, Sibick entered the Lower West Terrace tunnel, and at that time, the mob in there was calling for the shield wall, which you guys may have seen. They were making a wall with the stolen riot shields. So Sibick rushed to the front of the police line. He had the riot shield with him still, and he started pushing along with the others. He was pushing against the police. Sibick exited the tunnel a while later, and he told another member of the mob, quote, "Let's go. Let me just get refreshed." So about 8 minutes later, he must have been refreshed enough that he took part in that attack on Officer Michael Fanone. While Officer Fanone was being restrained by people, while he was being tasered in the back of the neck by Daniel Rodriguez, which, by the way, caused him to suffer a heart attack, Sibick was robbing him. Sibick was seen on Officer Fanone's body cam, and he was reaching in and he stole Officer Fanone's radio and his badge. Following the Capitol attack, Sibick shared a video on Instagram in which he said that he was, quote, "very worried for America," and, quote, "the system is broken." He then shared a written message which read, quote, "Has anyone considered that this isn't left versus right, Democrat versus Republican? Why have there been riots all summer? Why did they storm the Capitol yesterday? Maybe we're all actually on the same team, failed by the same government." So while I do agree we are all being failed by our government, the BLM protests in the summer of 2020 were the result of actual proven police brutality. Police brutality against minorities. That is not in question. If this is something that has gone on forever, we have the data, we have reports, we have video evidence. It's not in question. No one at this point can possibly doubt it unless they're insane or unless they have an ulterior motive. What happened at the Capitol on January 6th was the result of a bunch of suckers falling for the lies of a lifelong con artist and habitual liar, someone with zero evidence to back up his election fraud fairy tales. So no, you are not going to equate the two things. They are not the same thing. As they say, not my monkey, not my circus. In this case, I say, not my clown, not my circus. No. So anyway, on January 27th of 2021, the FBI interviewed Sibick. As usual, he gave them a hero story. So many of them do this, right? He said that he witnessed an attack on an officer, which ended up, that was Officer Fanone. And he said that he saw other people hitting him with flagpoles and yelling to get his gun and kill him with it, which was true. All of that did happen. But Sibick claimed that he tried to help. He tried to get to Officer Fanone to get him away from the violent mob, but he wasn't able to do so. And he said, I feared for my own life. So at that point, I just left. I left the Capitol. In a subsequent interview, after he was shown still shots of himself grabbing Officer Fanone's badge and his radio, Sibick lied again. And he said, I only took the officer's radio because I wanted to call for help for him. They are such bad liars. And then Sibick also gave numerous stories at various points in time regarding his possession of that badge and the radio. First, he said, I dropped them on the ground. Right after I took them, I dropped them on the ground and I left. Then he later said, actually, I left the Capitol grounds with them and I threw them in a trash can on Constitution Avenue as I was leaving the area. Then, in a later interview, he gave yet another version of the story. This time he said he took the items home with him and he threw them away in a back alley dumpster behind a hotel in New York. So the FBI called his bluff. They told Sibick that the hotel had agreed to check their security camera footage to confirm that story. So that's when he finally told the truth. That's when the real story came out. Sibick had, in fact, buried Officer Fanone's badge in his backyard. So he went and got a metal detector to dig it up. But he really did throw away the radio. So Sibick was arrested on March 12th of 2021, and in a superseding indictment, he was charged with obstructing an official proceeding, assaulting or impeding officers, entering restricted grounds, disorderly conduct on restricted grounds, 2 counts of impeding passage, 2 counts of physical violence, and parading or demonstrating in a Capitol. In March of 2023, Sibick pleaded guilty to assaulting officers and 2 counts of robbery. So he was looking at up to 8 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $250,000 in fines. This time, the prosecutor requested a pretty decent sentence. They asked for 71 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and a minimum of $7,500.79 in restitution. And Sibick has a little bit of a criminal history. He has 6 previous arrests, 5 of which resulted in convictions. And the prosecutor pointed out that one of the convictions, I should say, involved a second-degree aggravated harassment. So that one was in 2010. And then there was another arrest in 2015 for a failure to stop or respond for police commands. Well, he was also charged in that arrest for carrying a concealed loaded firearm. That charge, though, was later dismissed. U.S. District Judge Amy Berman Jackson presided over Sibick's case, and at the sentencing hearing, she told him, quote, "You and your family have repeated over and over again how difficult this has been for you. But I cannot treat this as the biggest calamity in your life without considering the other life that has been ruined." So the judge also called Sibick out for his, quote, entitlement. She noted that while he's been out on bail, he has repeatedly asked to have his home confinement modified. And she gave him one. I don't know if you guys remember this, but he was allowed to go online to use a dating app. I mean, these people have gotten such incredible treatment, so much more than your average person would, and they just don't even get it. And Judge Berman Jackson was left kind of speechless by one of Sibick's arguments in his sentencing memo. He actually argued that, Officer Fanone, he probably didn't even notice that he was being robbed on January 6th. So, no harm, no foul, because he was so busy being tasered. I mean, he didn't say that, but that's the gist of it. He was a little preoccupied. Probably didn't even notice I robbed him, so not a big deal. So when all was said and done, Sibick was sentenced to 50 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and he was ordered to pay the full $7,500.79 in restitution for the replacement cost of Officer Fanone's radio. So overall, a strong sentence, especially for someone who didn't cause physical injuries on January 6th. Also, especially if you consider this, Peter Sager, who I just shared last week, he just received 52 months, and he beat another officer with a flagpole. So for this guy to get 2 months less, it's a pretty strong sentence. Judge Jackson doesn't play. I wish they would all get her or Tanya Chutkin or one of the other tough judges, but oh well. All right, guys, if I hear any more, I will let you know. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.